Hey guys, it's John with ReelBlue Custom Rods, and today we're going to do another video on the truth about Versablend, and today's color code is 1004, which is known as static. And so we're going to go ahead and get this started, and we'll start talking about some of the colors that are in here and the potential patterns we might be able to see. So as you can see, we're starting off here with some purple colors that transition to green, that go into a red, and then into a purple. So we're going to start with the green portion of it here. And we'll start wrapping this up and see what we can kind of get out of it. All right, so again, color code 1004. The name of the color is static. And I am kind of already a fan. Has almost a futuristic type. I think the color choices in this are pretty neat looking. And they're going to create some pretty neat looking patterns. If this is your first time watching one of these truths about Versablend, Versablend is a type of thread pattern that is created by ProWrap. It is an all metallic thread. They usually comprised of 3 colors that are blended together, hence the name Versablend on one thread line. Again, it's a metallic thread, only comes in size A, so you cannot get it in size D, C, or B, or anything like that. It only comes in a size, or in a 100-yard spool. It does not come in a 1-ounce spool or larger. So it's a very, it's the smallest you can get a spool. But if you're doing just tag wraps, or maybe some under wraps on a smaller rod, one spool of 100 yards should be plenty. So we'll go ahead and we're spinning this around, and you can kind of see some of the color patterns that we're getting here. You can see the green lines coming down. So it has kind of that tiger wrap feel to it. But we'll go ahead and we'll keep wrapping this up here. And we started on that green portion of the thread. So you can see how it's kind of coming out already. So you can see those green lines. You can see those green lines coming down. And then that red or maroon/purple just kind of blend together, but you can see their different tones inside that thread. So let's keep wrapping this a little bit. We're going to go about 2 to 3 inches worth of a wrap and just see what comes up. Now remember, there's some things that are going to affect the pattern of these Versablends. The idea here is, Versablend is a great way to come up with a very unique or individualized look every time, because in theory, you're probably not going to have the same type of wrap every time you do it, right? So the things that are going to affect the type of pattern that you come out with, of course, is the rod diameter, and then the span of the wrap you're doing, or the length of the span of the wrap that you're doing. So again, here I'm doing like 2.5 to 3 inches. You know, if the pattern might look different, may start off one way and may look completely different if I did 8 inches, so we'll just wait and see how this is going to come out. And you can already see some of the interesting things that are happening here. Again, tight, not necessarily tight, but we have these green striped lines coming through, and then bam, a very much wider green line right there. And again, this is the great thing about these Versablend wraps. You're just, you're not really going to get the same wrap every time. And it's a great way to make, a unique style every different time you do it. So if you're striving or looking for ways to make every rod a custom rod by every rod being, even though the same types of threads are used, but not one rod is alike, this is a way to do it by using a product like a Versablend or Tiger Wrap or something like that. So we're cruising right along here. A lot of cool looking wrap happening here. So let's see where we're at distance wise. Yeah, so we're going to go just a little bit more. So you can definitely see the difference here, and how this pattern has changed. And I can't tell quite yet, but it looks like it's changing again. Look like it might be doing more of a tight pattern again. Yep, that's what it's doing. Let's take a look at that. Yep, so we're at about 3 inches. So let's go ahead, set this up and tie it off. Two, three, 4, 5. One more for good measure. All right, so we're just getting that all set up. Now you saw, you know what? I'm going to show you something else here, that I just thought about. So you saw that I pulled that tag in, or that working end all the way through, when I'm tying it off, and then I'm just going to go ahead, lay my razor nice and close and just cut it off and get a nice smooth look on there and hit it with a burnishing tool a little bit. I'm going to show you a different way to do that on the next one here. So if we go back to the thing here, so we can see these tight lines, these tight green lines that come through. And then we get this kind of a wider line. And it just kind of moves through. And then, kind of comes all the way over from over there to all the way to over here. And then we get these tight lines right there again. That is a pretty interesting look. And I really like these colors. Especially if I was going to come over with a darker green as an over wrap on a nylon wrap, nothing metallic or shiny, but just a regular nylon thread. So that way, when you put your finish on it, it'll darken up a little bit. but I like something like that. You know, a green. You could do a purple or a red, maybe even a hint of like an orange or a brown or something in there. But I feel like it might be too dark with it. So I think you'd probably want to take the green to complement the stripes on the inside. But you know, there's no right or wrong answer. You know, that's the great thing about building fishing rods, right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to do another wrap right here. And this time we started with the green last time. So I think this time we'll choke up on the thread a little, but let's start on the purple, I think. So green. So here's the purple. So I'm going to choke up on this a little bit. Red, purple. We'll get this started. So the diameter is going to be a little different than what it was where I started at on the previous wrap. It'll be a little smaller. And we're still going to go about the same length, about 3 inches. But we'll see how, if the taper of the rod affects us any, and by starting off with the purple color versus the green color this time. And just if you're curious on what type of blank I'm working on, this is the bottom portion of a 2-piece fly rod. I want to say this is a 9-weight fly rod that I'm working on. So initially, it looks like the green lines are going to be a little tight again, which is fine. But I'm interested to see if it spreads open like the other one did. So the second wrap we're doing now with this metallic Versablend wrap only comes in a 100-yard spool in size A only. It's made by Pro Wrap. Usually they've got about 3-ish, maybe 4 colors that are, you know, blended into the thread. Great wrap. You know, for most, I would say this would be a great tool for an under wrap. You know, if you're doing a size A under wrap with a C or a D over wrap, depending on if you're building, you know, a little bit heavier of a freshwater or saltwater rod. Again, a great way to add a unique look to it, or a customizable look, or a very individualized look, right? I think by using this Pro Wrap Versablend thread, I really don't think you're going to find yourself getting the same exact wrap every time you do it. And earlier, I was talking about, you know, what colors I would pair this with if I was doing an over wrap. And I said, you know, something like this green, a green nylon thread that will, you know, absorb and darken a little bit with the finish once you've applied it. But I'm really looking at some of these other colors. No, not so much that one. And these are all the threads I'm pulling up now, of course, are all, what do you call it? But let's go with a nylon. So that's more of a maroon colored nylon. But I think the problem with this is that will darken up too much and become too dark and almost look like the same thing, even if I come back with kind of the purple nylon, that will definitely have a darker purple color to it. And I think sticking with, you know, one of your green colors, it'll probably be better because it'll accentuate or accent, excuse me, those green, what I'm calling tiger stripes inside of there. But yeah, don't be afraid to mess around with this Versablend stuff. You know, I've used this in under wraps, and to be quite honest, I have used Versablend wrap by itself as a decorative wrap on a few builds before, and I thought the rod that I was building at the time, I thought it looked good, and I still think it looks good. So it's, you know, again, by giving you these different patterns, you know, you're using one thread to come up with a few different patterns and colors versus trying to use several different types of thread or colors of thread to achieve that look, you know. So we're getting close. Let's check. About 2 1/4. Let's go a little bit more. Yeah, so you've noticed, or you can notice now, like that first one that we did, that first wrap, very tight. Then it opened up, got kind of thick. With the green color, you can really see some of the orange or purple colors, or the red and purple colors in there. This one, not so much. This one is actually staying pretty tight and almost looks like it's trying to get tighter with these green bands in it, or stripes, or tiger stripes. Let's come back and check. Yeah, let's go just a little bit more. Yeah, so they're starting to get a little bit tighter, those greens. All right, so here's what we're going to do. So this time, I'm going to do a few more than my standard 5 or 6 wraps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this time I'm going to do 10. I'm going to use my burnishing tool, pack those back down. All right, so here's the different step of cutting and pulling your line through. The first one, I just pulled it all the way through. This one, I'm going to tuck the thread through. And then pull my line. I kind of pulled it a little too much already by accident. Yeah, man. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to redo that because I want you guys to see this. There we go. So redo this. Now that's the trick, right? When you already cut your line, now you got to do it all by hand. But that's okay. It's not hard, man. It is not hard. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See that? Got one hand turning, one hand holding. 10. I'm just going to take and tuck that line in there. Grab a hold of that. Okay. So the other technique is that I wanted to show you is I take my line and I pull my thread all the way to the end right there. I take my burnishing tool, pack the thread, and then I can come back and make sure that's tight really quick before I do too much. There we go. So I got that there. Then I can come back here with my razor blade. Cut it short. And then, so you can see just that piece of thread is sticking up right there. You can see it against my finger. And then just pull it underneath. Okay, so here is the first wrap. So again, we went ahead and we made these, you know, with this Versablend metallic thread. Again, only comes in size A on a 100-yard spool. We made about a 3-inch span, and you can see these tight green lines. And then it kind of opens up to a much more broader, thicker green line, and then starts to get tight again here before where we stopped it at. And that's a pretty good look. And then here on this one, we just moved down the blank a little bit, started again, and got a completely different wrap as expected. But basically just green stripes going down at angles, but you know, pretty consistent. And then they get a little tighter here. But that's pretty much it. So yeah, so I think this is a great way again to make a unique look. I really like these colors. This is the code 1004 and the color name is Static. I think it looked good with any type of dark colored wrap. My personal opinion, I would use a color that would accent the green stripes that are, you know, that you find within this color. But yeah, it's pretty good. So if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. And if you got something out of it, feel free to share it and pass it on to somebody else that you think that would find this information useful. As always, I appreciate the continued support. Thanks for watching. Be sure to watch this next video. And until next time, guys, take care. Bye.